we all know why I'm here, okay? The RØDE Link 2. Can you let me know, can you first introduce yourself and let me know like a little bit about this product?
Yeah, sure. My name's Ryan. I'm from RØDE in Sydney, Australia. And here at NAB, we just launched the RØDE Link 2 system. So this is RØDE's first UHF wireless system. Absolutely. Love to hear it. So the RØDE Link 2 is a 2 transmitter to single receiver system that's designed to make UHF wireless really easy and intuitive to use without sacrificing any of the professional performance.
Can you give us a difference between UHF and 2.4?
Sure. So 2.4 is a license-free spectrum, and it's referring to the frequency band that you're using. So 2.4 gigahertz is the same frequency band that Wi-Fi transmits on, same frequency band as Bluetooth, even the same frequency band that microwaves operate at. So
all I hear is static right now. Static. Go ahead.
So basically what that means is you turn it on, it just works. Just like any other device that you would use in your life normally, Bluetooth devices, Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, it's something different, but you know, the RØDE transmission, it just works. You turn it on, forget about it.
Okay.
Now, when you start getting into things like really congested professional environments like the NAB show like this, or potentially if you're doing corporate videos where you got a panel talk, things like that, and you need to start getting further away where you got a lot of people in between with, you know, 2.4 gigahertz devices like phones in their pocket, that's where UHF comes in. Now, the UHF frequencies, you know, between 470 and 618 is the actual band that we're working with.
Okay.
The benefit of that is that they're fenced out just for professional audio transmission. So when you go to a stadium event and you see a singer up on stage using a microphone and there's 30,000 people in the crowd, that is definitely a UHF system, because no 2.4 gig system would be able to work in that noisy environment, right? And so with the RØDE Link 2, we're bringing UHF wireless into an easy to use product for filmmakers. And what we really thought about with this is how do we bring UHF, you know, wireless performance in a form factor that just works really easily for people who are doing audio and video, just like yourself, you know, on camera. So that's where we end up with the RØDE Link 2 receiver here. I'll turn that on and I'll show you a couple of really cool things. So you see it's got a nice little OLED screen. And I can click through that. I'll just flip it around here. You've got time code on this system that is putting time code into your camera, as well as printing it onto the broadcast wave files on the transmitters.
What is the range?
So it depends on the specific environment, like any other wireless system. But when you're talking UHF, you're talking functional range. So with UHF, you don't have problems like body blocking, or if you have barriers such as, you know, walls and things like that in an environment. Often when you're using a 2.4 gig system, for instance, you wouldn't be able to walk outside and walk around and come back in, you know, without, you know, the risk of dropouts. With the UHF system, you can. It's longer wavelengths, which means that it's more immune to, you know, obstacles like the human body. So
can I have an average? 500 feet?
So you could easily do, you know, say 200 meters, like easily 2 football fields of functional range.
2 football fields?
Yeah, where you're going to have no problems turning around, turning your back to the system, all of that kind of stuff. So you get really good functional range. Now, a lot of the 2.4 gig systems can transmit up to, you know, 3 football fields away, line of sight. But at that point, you know, it's almost never that you're going to need to transmit at that long distance. So the range question is usually about stability. That's what people are really asking. When they say, what's the range? They're saying, how stable is it? With UHF, it is extremely stable because it's a longer wavelength. It's in a dedicated frequency band where you don't have to compete with other devices. So that's the benefit of it.
So on bigger gigs, I would usually hire like an audio technician. Because all I own are like the RØDE Wireless 3s, or I use the RØDE Go's and 2s. They're like pros.
Excellent, yeah.
So
both amazing wireless products, to be honest.
They are, but if I wanted to level up, how much of a level, like is this a drastic level?
So what you're going to get with this is it's a dedicated belt pack transmit record system.
Okay.
You've got the ability to run an external lav. You've got removable batteries. So
how long do the batteries last?
Workflow. So up to about 8 hours when you're doing, piece to camera stuff like this. It has adaptive transmit power, all coordinated from the receiver. So the receiver is in charge of the whole system. It has a secondary communication layer that runs on a sub-gigahertz frequency. So basically, instead it uses UHF for all the audio. It then has a communication frequency that will tell the transmitter how powerful it needs to be at any given moment. So rather than a lot of other UHF systems where when you're using them, you basically, if you run it at maximum output power, you have much lower battery life. This system will always output exactly as much power as it needs to maintain the connection. So in any given moment, it might be outputting 2 milliwatts, it might be outputting 5, it might be outputting 25, So it
can
automatically
we buy extra batteries?
You can. So these batteries, there's also an accessory charger called the RS2.
Beautiful.
These are the external batteries.
Swap.
They're also based on a standard Nikon EL4 battery, I believe. So there's a lot of them available.
So what happens if it's going to the 7-hour, 8-hour mark and it dies?
What it'll do, it'll close off the recording. You'll see on the receiver whether or not your transmitter is active or not.
But it still saves everything. It just will.
It'll close off the recording. You'll have everything always recorded in 32-bit floating point on the transmitter.
Can I see the lavs?
Yeah, sure. So comes in the kit with.
Are these new lavs? Are these newer lavs, or are these the same lavs that RØDE always?
No. So this is the RØDE Link lav. So this one we've had in market for quite a while. This is what comes with the system. And basically it's a screw-in lav. You've got the locking, jack on top. So you can pop that into the system, screw it in, lock the jack, and then it'll be, permanently mounted like that.
Side note, I actually lost mine, my locking one. So I need to buy another one.
Sure.
So is this permanently on it or
this
can
one
it
is
twist
removable,
off?
so you can remove that. Now on the cables that come with the receiver, so on the receiver, all of our cables have a captive locking. On the transmitter, because these lavs are not just useful for the RØDE Link system, but you can plug them into other systems as well. We have it so it's removable, so you can lock it in or you can remove it.
Let me know if I'm wrong or right. But are these $14.99?
Yes, $1,499 for the entire kit with the case, 2 lavs, 2 transmitters, receiver, antennas, all the stuff you need.
Okay, so for the people that think that's a little bit too steep, what would you say to them?
Well, I think if you look at the UHF wireless space, it's quite common for single channels of UHF to cost up to $5,000 a channel. What we're doing here is we're implementing technology developed by our sister brand, Electrosonics. Now, if you watch any movies in Hollywood, there's a very high chance that they've used Electrosonics wireless. They designed the wireless tech for us in this product, so you're getting a really high quality wireless.
Did RØDE buy Electrosonic?
The Friedman Group acquired Electrosonics about a year ago, yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead and continue.
So RØDE is part of the Friedman Group. We have quite a few brands. We've got Mackie, Electrosonics, RØDE, Aphex, Soundfield, Event. We've got a bunch of different brands in that group. But Electrosonics is now part of that group. So there's a great technology share between those two companies.
It sounds phenomenal. I am thinking about honestly purchasing these, even though I shy away from audio. The most I do are the RØDEs. But I see this as a system where if I purchase it, 5-8 years.
Easily. We made this system for people just like yourself that are shooting and doing audio as well. Most of the people we spoke to that were trying to level up their system and needed to get into UHF didn't want the complication of setting frequencies and having to work it out every time they're on set and stressing about that. That's why we made this system, and that's why it's a camera mount first.
Thank you very much for your time, okay?
Thanks very much. Cheers.